Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, we tie up our week-long preview of First Night Northampton performers with a tidy little bow and a holly bush.
You mean, Henning Ohlenbusch?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Henning from the Fawns will be here for our last live music Friday of the year.
But first, 'twas the afternoon before our break, and all through the station, no more fund drives were lurking, 'cause it's almost vacation.
But you'll hear us exclaim ere we drive out of sight Merry Christmas to some, but to all a good fright.
I'm doing like 2 or 3 interviews a day, but yesterday I was on NPR in Rochester. But, so I've been talking about Christmas every day.
Yeah.
With various, which is great. So last year the book was brand new.
Right.
Y'all, check it out. The book's in its 4th printing.
Whoa.
In a year.
That's great in one
it's
year.
lighting it up.
That's
it's really,
awesome.
and what's cool is all 2 words, Mariah Carey. Next year, I want to go, all I want for Christmas is Jeff's book.
It's
like,
time.
let's do it. Me and Mariah, year after year, 20 years from now, let's do it.
It's time!
Remember the famous Christmas song which goes, "There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago." What happened to the scary stories? I want more scary stories than a Christmas carol. Those ghosts are weak. Jeff Belanger brings the spooky back to the Yuletide time of year with this new holiday show.
I mean, as far as we know, the Christmas ghosts are only time travelers.
Yeah, right? They don't even have any awesome magic. I guess they have some cool magic powers.
Also,
and
I have
scary
never
things.
heard that song.
Although the third, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Is that a line in
Yeah,
the most
totally.
wonderful time of the year?
Absolutely. Christmas carols in general have lots of spooky stuff in them, but that is besides the point right now.
Okay, anyhow, Jeff Belanger is a storyteller, adventurer, journalist, and one of the most notorious explorers of the unexplained working today. The author of over a dozen books published in 6 languages, he's also the Emmy-nominated host, writer, and producer of the PBS and Amazon Prime series New England Legends and the weekly New England Legends podcast.
He's the writer and researcher for the Ghost Adventures series, and he's been a guest on hundreds of television and radio shows, including the History Channel, the Travel Channel, the Biography Channel, PBS, CBS, NPR, BBC, and for the very freakily conspiratorial Coast to Coast AM.
I feel like that's a badge of honor.
I do too.
From the origins of the holiday to the monsters and ghosts that lurk in the shadows, Jeff's live stage show presentation of The Fright Before Christmas will take you on a multimedia journey of this haunting holiday. Based on his creepy Christmas PBS special and his best-selling book, The Fright Before Christmas, this night may just save the holidays from ruin. It's happening this Sunday, December 22nd at 7:30 at the Shea Theater in Turner's Falls. And note, this program is not for young children.
Which makes things even more awesome. Full disclosure, president of the board of the Shea Theater, a volunteer gig. I don't make any money off of it, but I have a lot of fun time when the theater is not being in use, and we're going to watch one of the scariest Christmas movies, Dial Code Santa Claus, which is a home invasion movie that came out a year before Home Alone, where Santa Claus tries to kill this little kid in a house and he sets all these booby traps. It is amazing. So it'll dovetail so nicely with Jeff Belanger's Not for Children presentation. Jeff, tell us what we can expect at the Shea Theater on Sunday night for the spooky part of the holiday season.
Well, I think we can save the holiday just in time. Really, we're going to save it. This is for the Grinches, the Scrooges, the humbug people, and also for the happy elves that love the holiday. If you love the holiday, you'll love it more. If you hate it, I think you'll hate it less. It's an exploration of the darker side of a holiday you thought you knew. We're going to pick it apart, put it back piece by piece, and learn that this is really, if you thought Halloween was the scary holiday, it's really Christmas. Halloween is ghosts. Sure, ghosts scare some people, but around the time of the winter solstice, there are monsters lurking that at best are going to just beat us with sticks, but at worst might snatch us up, stuff us into a burlap sack, bring us back to a mountain lair, and kill us.
Yes! Merry Christmas, everyone!
Yeah, don't bring your young kids. They'll have so many questions.
Or bring them and scar them for life. I'm a big
either way,
proponent
you're
of
the
that as a
parent.
parent. Jeff, introduce us to some of these monsters. I mean, a lot of people have heard about Krampus at this point.
Sure.
Krampus has risen above the fray of spooky Christmas monsters. Kudos to you, Krampus.
Krampus is getting movie deals, right? He had his own movie in 2015 that did really well. He's got one out now with opposite Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Krampus!
You shouldn't be there.
Nice.
Once you're opposite The Rock, you've made it. You know what I mean? So Krampus is the Christmas devil. He's got horns and he's covered in fur, cloven hooves for feet, a long red forked tongue, and he's covered in chains so you can hear him coming. And he shows up on Krampusnacht, which is December 5th. and he deals with all the naughty people of the world, while St. Nicholas rewards the good ones. That's their jobs. Good cop, bad cop. He's the most famous. He eats at restaurants we can't get into, now that he's got the movie deals and stuff like that. But there are many, many others that are out there, and some of the other ones are also creeping into popular culture, like the Bellschnickel. So if Krampus is a little too much for you, the Bellschnickel means Nicholas in furs. And he shows up a couple of weeks before Christmas. Each community would have one. So for example, this year could be my turn to be Bellschnickel. I'll show up in a patchwork of furs. My face will be dirty and covered with soot. I'll have a switch of sticks. I'll knock on your door. You'll invite me into your home, and I'll ask if there's any naughty children. And you might point to one and say, hey, this one's been good, but little Johnny here, not so much. And I'll take Johnny out back for you, and I'll tie him to a tree, and I will whip him and beat him with those sticks over and over again. He'll scream and cry, and then maybe get right so he can have some gifts in time for the holidays.
And all this
next year, you could be the Bellschnickel, and you could beat my kids.
Monty Bellschnickel.
Yeah.
Look out, kids, if you're listening. Bellschnickel could be coming.
So,
you think Elf on the Shelf is only reporting to Santa? No, Elf on the Shelf is reporting to Bellschnickel.
No, this is dark. Bellschnickel shows up alone. And if you remember the show The Office, there was an episode where Dwight Schrute was the Bellschnickel.
Oh, judgment is nigh, for the Bellschnickel is I.
Yes, he is finally nigh.
I am nigh.
Every year, my grandfather would dress up as Bellschnickel at Christmas. He was okay at it. I am great. You know how they say some people were born to be bad? Well, I was born to be Bellschnickel.
And Bellschnickel was in Christmas Chronicles too, with Goldie Hawn and her real-life husband.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, thank you so much.
From Springfield, Massachusetts.
Indeed.
I'm gonna make everybody forget that the North Pole and Santa Claus ever existed.
Bellschnickel.
This is bad. Without the star, the North Pole, the village, Christmas is doomed.
That's right. So you know, he's showing up in popular culture too. And I learned about him because we were doing for the PBS special for New England Legends. We went to a place in Niantic, Connecticut that was called the Smith Harris House at the time, where they brought in Bellschnickel as their holiday figure instead of St. Nicholas. And we thought, this is amazing. And we got to talk to the curator, and I asked, you know, does he actually beat the children? And she said, well, that would probably make national news, don't you think? I said, yeah, that's a good point. So I guess he doesn't. But anyway, a rising star among the Christmas monsters.
We're speaking with Jeff Belanger, who is going to be bringing a live stage version of The Fright Before Christmas this Sunday, December 22nd, 7:30 at the Shea Theater.
None of the Christmas things that I've been looking at have been like so directly violent, but there's been a resurgence of legends amongst my friends in various social media, one of which I think is the most interesting because it involves a horse skeleton that sings at you until you stop or they stop, and if they outsing you, you have to invite them in and give them food.
Food and booze.
And booze.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Not just food. You're talking about the Mari Lode from Wales.
Yes.
The Mari Lode is the gray mare, and she rises from the grave a few weeks before the holidays, and she's got a horse's skull, and it'll be decorated with ribbons and all kinds of festive things, and the horse's skull will clack, clack, clack as it opens and closes, and they'll be covered in a sheet, and you should ignore those human-looking legs beneath the sheet. I'm sure that's purely a coincidence. And they have a handler that will bring them door to door, and there's a call and response, just as you said. But once they get inside, you have to give them treats, cookies, and sweetbreads, but also booze.
Yes.
And then they go to the next house, and it can be a very long night when you're the Mari Lode.
It's like trick-or-treating for one.
Possibly three.
Oh, yeah, right. You got the handlers, too. You probably should give the handlers some food and booze as
Exactly,
well.
yeah.
Is there a specific song that you need to know to ward off the Mari Lode, or can you go with anything?
I don't know if you speak Welsh or if you've ever even seen the Welsh language.
Yeah,
Their words are like 800 letters long with like no vowels. It's just like a string of consonants. So I don't know the Welsh songs, but I guess you could pick whatever one you like. You know, go ahead.
You hear a knock on the door. What's that knock? Oh, it's a horse skull.
Yeah. Why does all this stuff, Jeff Belanger, happen around Christmas? You mentioned that Halloween, which everybody thinks of as a spooky holiday, is a spooky holiday, but that Christmas is even spookier with not just ghosts like we see with Jacob Marley and the three ghosts from A Christmas Carol, but also the Bellschnickel and the Mari Lode and the Krampus and all of these things. Why around this time of year?
So Halloween is what's called a half holiday. It is halfway between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. And that's the Celtic New Year. It's the sun setting on the whole year. But Yule, midwinter, the winter solstice. That is midnight. It's the shortest day. It's the longest night. It's a time when we have to be afraid. If we have enough food or fuel to get through the winter, if our roof will hold up under the snow, it is the most frightening season. When we're looking down the barrel of that loaded gun, we party, right? We throw this festival called Saturnalia in Rome, or called Yule up north in the Nordic region. We get together, we put our differences aside, we feast together, we drink together. In the Yule festival, we'd all drink from the same drinking horn, signifying that we're all equal right now. We put our differences aside because if something goes wrong and you need food or shelter in the winter, you might have to come to me, and vice versa. So we can go back to being jerks to each other in the spring, but for now, we've got to all get along. And the thing is, these holidays, when they were called solstice, they were inclusive of everybody. It didn't matter what you believed or didn't believe, right? If you're atheist, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, made no difference. If winter's hard where you live, we got to get together. We got to light up the long, dark night. We got to gather our resources and know that in that darkness, there's monsters lurking. If you get caught outside in the dark and the cold, ill-prepared, winter will kill you, right? Winter kills the grass, it kills the flowers, it kills the trees, kills the ponds and the lakes. They're frozen solid, and it will kill you too if you get stuck out there. And so there are monsters lurking. We tell those stories, and we know this is the season where we have to stay inside where it's safe, and we have to look out for each other.
It makes me want to wage a war on Christmas when you put it that way. We've got to fight off the murderous elements.
We lost the consequence of the holiday. When Christmas went really commercial, really, which is only in the last century that this happened, Christmas turned into a really commercial time where retail had to go into the profitable part of the year, for their profitable season for once. When it was all about commercialism, there's no room for consequence. When I was growing up, the consequence was you'll get less presents from Santa. Or if you're really bad, you get coal and sticks in your stocking. But retailers were like, don't actually do that. Just maybe buy one less gift. That doesn't keep the economy going, if you give coal and sticks.
Coal's a hot commodity all of a sudden again.
Ba-doom-cha.
Yeah, exactly. But we're bringing these monsters back, and it starts in pop culture, it starts in movies, but now there's Krampus walks, and Krampus shows up in holiday parades.
He's got a whole festival.
I know, right? You're getting Marty Load memes sent to you from your friends.
Yeah, they're really scary.
That's shocking to me because that's a B-side, man. That's a deep cut on the album. You know what I mean? Now she's making it over here. All right, cool. Matty Load. And guess what? There's more coming from other countries because there's something about embracing this dark side. We understand it. We understand dark and light. We understand good and evil. We understand what's needed right now. And these monsters sort of offer that to us. You mentioned A Christmas Carol, one of the greatest ghost stories ever written by a master. And in that story, by the end, you realize who Scrooge is, right? You have this moment near the very end when Scrooge is getting, is crying in front of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You go, oh no, I know who Scrooge is. He's me.
Yeah.
I'm Scrooge, right? I'm getting older and crankier and get off my lawn and I humbug. But he was redeemed. But he was only redeemed because he went through a gauntlet, right? Because he went through deep fear from his past, his present, and his future. Only then could he be scared straight, right? The song says, be good for goodness sake. I don't know anyone who can do that, right?
A Christmas Carol is basically like the first written intervention.
Yeah, right.
Where his ghost friend is like, hey, look, dude, you have to stop. And we're real worried about your behavior.
Yeah, when the undead have to come and do an intervention, you're in big trouble.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually it's just a group of my friends and my family who sandbag me in my living room.
You're totally right. Well, guess what? They're here to help. It's a service. The people I know who really change their lives, it happens when there's a scare, right? A mild heart attack, you survive. A cancer scare. Losing a friend or a loved one or a family member far too soon to some illness where you go, whoa, life's short. I'm scared. I need to make some changes. These monsters offer that to us. These ghosts offer that to us. This season offers that to us. There's the idea of redemption and hope all in the span of a single night that we can change. But we can only change if we go through something scary. I don't know another way. No one I'm friends with can just be like, hey, we should just be better people. And yeah, we should after this next round. You know what helps you be better people? Trauma. Yes. Amen. Where's the Christmas carols about trauma? We got to get some pens and papers and some pianos and get going on that.
Coming up more with Jeff Belanger, who's bringing his Fright Before Christmas to the Shea Theater this Sunday.
We'll learn about the Yule Lads, Grilla, and how a Springfield legend stole some of these scary stories to create a holiday classic.
And later, for the last Live Music Friday of the year, First Night performer Henning Ohlenbusch.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. We are speaking with Jeff Belanger, who is bringing his live version of The Fright Before Christmas to the stage of the Shea Theater this Sunday, December 22nd at 7:30 p.m. What does the show look like? Are we going to see a live walking, talking Krampus on stage, or what is the show going to look like, Jeff?
I would love to summon creatures and monsters from the dead, but I'm going to show you some of the great old artwork from these as we sort of weave the stories, the history of the holiday and how it came to be, and then these hordes of monsters that are coming. And we sort of pick them apart one by one. It's actually funny. It's a very funny show, and it's got the feels, right, as you would expect from a holiday show. There's a story arc there, I mean, I tell my own story, which is being very Scroogey and Grinchy in the beginning, and saying, why do I even do this? I'm a Halloween guy. But then that song lyric that you sang so eloquently, Monty,
There'll
from Andy
be scary
Williams.
ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmas long, long ago.
That's the one. If I close my eyes, it's like the ghost of Andy Williams was just right here. But that's the one. I'm like, scary ghost stories. I didn't grow up with that when I was a kid. I didn't have that. And then I didn't have Krampus. But later on, by the way, I would realize all of us had Krampus in our childhoods. We just forgot. He wasn't called Krampus. He was green, and he lived in a mountain over Whoville.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
And now, am I here to accuse, Springfield great Dr. Seuss of plagiarism? Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
His doesn't have horns. Is that why it makes
Remember
him
when
real
the
upset?
fur went, right, it curled up into like horns? There was one moment. So yes, I mean, very Krampus-like, of course, but became a beloved character that we know.
The Christmas carols themselves, they have, like the one we mentioned from Andy Williams, they do have all of these weird messages in them that I may be reading more into it and then turning them into really messed up Christmas cards that I would send to my family, but the whole tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight.
That's very Valley of the Damned.
Children that grew to look like this. Beautiful youngsters behind whose fiery, hypnotic eyes lurk the demon forces of another world.
Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow.
Yeah, we made a Christmas card where a picture of all of our family, of the children, their eyes were like on fire, and they looked like they were possessed. They may not have made that one intentionally to be scary, but it always felt like a little bit of scariness in there. Jeff Belanger, are there other scary holiday-oriented characters that you would like to highlight? Favorite one that you want to see now star against Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in their own holiday movie?
My favorite, who, by the way, is in that movie as well, but doesn't get as much screen time or as much notoriety, is the Grilla from Iceland. So the Grilla in Iceland, she's a mountain ogre, and she's got 13 tails, and she's the mother of the Yule Lads, and she's got a familiar called the Yule Cat. And Grilla, unlike Krampus, the way to avoid Krampus is just be good. Don't misbehave, and you can avoid Krampus easy enough. Grilla doesn't discriminate so much. If some kid's stuck out there during the winter, and keep in mind, in Iceland, around the time of the winter solstice, if you're south, there's just a sliver of daylight for an hour or two during the day, and then it's dark the rest of the time. Mm-hmm. It is dark and cold and frightening. And if your child's outside in the mountains, in the snow, in the ice, in the winter, does it matter if they die from exposure or if Grilla gets them? So you tell the story of Grilla, and you tell it well, that she's coming down from the mountains to collect her due. And if she finds you, she's going to snatch you up, bring you back to her lair, cut you into pieces, cook you in a stew, and eat you. And by the way, if today we were to fly to Keflavik Airport right outside of Reykjavik, in the airport, you know how we have mall Santas? They've got a big old pot with Grilla, and you can get in the pot and get your picture taken, which is amazing.
And Grilla's played by Bjork, which makes it even weirder.
Yes. It's oh so quiet. Shh, shh. It's oh so still.
Bjork, I've been to her record store in Reykjavik.
Welcome to Iceland. There is no sunlight. You are on fire. A demon takes your
story of Grilla because she's got a husband who has no characteristic beyond just being lazy. Not scary, not stealing children or anything, just lazy. And then her children, the Yule lads, all have specific things that they do, and I find that especially fascinating. She only has the 13 children, right? There's only
Just
13.
Just
Yule
13.
lads?
She quit after 13. My favorite is the first one, the sheep coat clod, who comes on December 12th. And what he does is he's going to come and he's just going to poke your sheep with a stick and annoy them.
Yep.
That's it.
What if you don't have any sheep?
Right. So you're lucky. You don't have to worry about him.
She's also got a child named Skirgamer. He just likes yogurt.
Yeah, right. See, the skier gobbler, right? So,
Rubble, rubble.
Yep, he's going to just steal all your skier. So watch out for that.
She's got 2 meat-oriented children. One that steals sausages and the other one who steals meat with a hook.
You mean uses a hook to steal meat, or only steals meat if it has a hook in it,
Yeah,
like
no,
fish?
uses a hook to steal
Meat
meat
hook,
from you.
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
And sausage swiper,
Now
right.
that is getting a little scarier. The yogurt thing, that doesn't bother me at all. You're not scary yogurt eater.
Because it's healthy with 0% fat and 12 grams of protein. And so creamy.
Could be the perfect
ladies.
snack, John.
Yeah, Yogurt Eater is hanging out with her child named Potlicker, who licks the leftovers out of pots.
Pot stickers, I love those. Those are a good holiday appetizer.
That's different.
Oh, pot liquor, I see.
Yes.
Right. My favorite of the Yule lads is one called Door Slammer. All he does is slam the door all night long while you're trying to sleep. Like, how horrible.
That is
You know what I
annoying.
mean? What a jerk.
Totally. I don't like slamming doors. That one I
No.
don't. That one I don't like.
I love that her children kind of come in pairs because he seems to go along with her child named Window Peeper. Guess what he does?
He's a peeping Tom.
That's also creepy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's what he does. He does exactly what you think.
And these are the Yule lads from Grilla from Iceland, who also has a Yule cat.
Yes, the Yule cat. The Yule cat shows up on Christmas Day, and it's very important that you lay out brand new clothes that you've purchased for yourself. You have to do that. Display your brand new clothes. If you didn't work hard enough, if you didn't get those new clothes, the Yule cat comes and kills you and eats you. You're a goner.
I thought it was going to be like sheds all over your old clothes. Nope, just straight up kills you.
Straight up kills you like a cat left in a room with a dead body for more than an hour.
I want to start a Christmas-themed band called, like, Yule Lad and the Yule Cats.
Yeah, not bad. I like it.
Bull Liquor and the Yule Cats.
I like all of these. It's a great
I'm
idea.
in. I'll play the didgeridoo.
Well, who knows what Jeff Belanger will bring to the stage of the Shea Theater this Sunday night for his live version of The Fright Before Christmas. And again, we say the program is not designed for young children unless you want to put those young children in a pot or in a bag or hit them with sticks. Then please bring them along. It sounds like it's going to be a super fun time, and it is going to help me get out of a holiday gathering 2 hours away that I was supposed to go to with family, Jeff Belanger, which can sometimes be the freakiest part of the holidays in and of themselves.
You're welcome. That's all I have to say.
I guess we better get started writing those Krampus songs now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
This spooky Krampus-y song is at the request of our director, Tony Dunn. It's Spinal Tap's Christmas with the Devil.
Later in the show, we'll give you a brief personal glimpse into how the team here at the Fabulous 413 celebrates the holidays.
But first, our last First Night performer and our last Live Music Friday performer.
The first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
Henning Ohlenbusch is next.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar, offering solar options, energy security, and solutions for the local community. Learn more at northeast-solar.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, offering co-op advantage checking with cash back on all purchases, plus secure debit card controls, all from the UMass 5 mobile banking app. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. Hey, that's you, Henning.
That's me.
From the First Night Northampton website, if instead of Garfunkel, it was Robin Hitchcock, so Simon and Hitchcock, but one guy, Henning Ohlenbusch is a singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, producer, and performer. He's been a part of the Northampton music scene for years with his bands Gentle Hen, the Fawns, School for the Dead, the Aloha Steam Train, and Humbert, to name a few.
That's a really good description of you and your work, actually. Here's how our Wednesday First Night guest, the legendary Ray Mason, sums him up. Henning has his own unique way of looking at and commenting on the human condition, and in doing so, he makes us think.
Who wrote that description of you, Henning? Was it you?
The original one?
Yeah, the one about the Simon and Garfunkel. And
yeah, that was me.
Oh, yeah.
Know thyself.
Yeah. I always, when I have to do that for a thing, I always write, Monty likes to talk about himself in the third person at the end of it, just so you know. Yeah.
It took me about 25 years to write that.
Well,
So.
it is a perfect description.
My bios are always, Khaleesi's very bad at writing about herself.
Yeah, the end.
The end.
But Henning Ohlenbusch is playing First Night Northampton solo at 4 o'clock at the APE Gallery on Main Street.
And he's playing with the Fawns at 9 p.m. at St. John's Episcopal Church.
He's also playing with the Fawns this evening
Tonight.
at Progression Brewing in Northampton, and he's going to play for us live right now to wind down our First Night week. Let's hear something from Henning Ohlenbusch.
All right, this is a song about undercoming your abundances. Another year, and here I am still sitting here. It's a wonderful place for a boy to be, even me. My generation was pacified, taught self-esteem and filled with pride. Ergo egos, away we go. Egos we. I believed them for a long, long time, but they told it to us all. Well, maybe I'm not meant to do anything remarkable after all. An enrichment program, a gifted class. Didn't have to do very much to pass. Oh, what could I be if I applied myself? We'll never know. 'Cause I give up almost instantly if something doesn't come to me easily. If I'm entitled to success, well, I must be great. And I can wait. I believed him for a long, long time, but I got this wake-up call. Maybe I'm not meant to do anything remarkable after all. I'm starting to recognize I don't need a bigger life. I'm starting to recognize that I don't need a bigger life. I used to feel nothing but guilt when I took a look at the life I built. Surely I was meant for something more, something great. But lately I feel something more like peace. Have I given up or have I been released? Maybe this drive to improve ourselves might be a mistake we all make. I believed him for a long, long time, but I got this wake-up call. Maybe I'm not meant to do anything remarkable after all. I believed him for a long, long time, but they told it to us all. Maybe I'm not meant to do anything remarkable after all.
Did you do that because you know that's my favorite Henning Ohlenbusch song?
No.
It is my favorite Henning Ohlenbusch
I do
song.
love that one. It reminds me of a bumper sticker that we used to have that says, "I was an honors student. I don't know what happened."
Yeah. It also reminds me of the Deep Thought by Jack Handy that is like, the first thing I had to do was learn to forgive myself. And then I said, go ahead, do whatever you want. It's okay by me. And I know you're a big Deep Thoughts fan as well.
I am.
I often quote the Deep Thoughts that you wrote for a big Northampton Arts Council event that we did. Speaking of
That
First
was fun,
Night.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember any of those? Because I do. There are two that I think about all the time.
The only one I remember offhand is if you ever see a vampire during the day, be careful, it could have rabies.
I think about that one all the time. And then every time I go into a bathroom, there's a sign that says, employees must wash hands. But I waited and waited, and no employee came. So I just washed my hands myself.
Yeah.
But that song, Henning, I mean, it feels like an anti-New Year's resolution song in so many ways. And I kind of love that. I feel like it really does have an important kind of like Zen Buddhist message about let it go, man.
I think so. Yeah, that's the point. I guess just come to terms with it.
Yeah. I learned the hard way that sometimes people don't want you to share that song with them when they're wondering why they're not successful or famous.
Oh, that's a
I was like, this is a really great song contemplating what you're wondering about right now from my friend Henning, and that person did not appreciate it.
Okay.
But they're still not famous, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But now you get to wonder if it's your fault or not.
No, it's definitely not.
Okay,
No,
well,
it's my fault.
I know it's
my
not.
fault.
It's Henning's fault.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's not
For
Henning's fault.
exposing
I'm good
it
with
all
that.
to all of us.
I'm good with that.
And we're speaking with Henning Ohlenbusch, who's playing First Night Northampton solo at 4 o'clock at the APA Gallery, right after Ray Mason, or right before, I forget.
Right before Ray Mason.
Right
After
before.
Jose Hierro.
Oh, yeah, from Spouse, who we love. And then playing with your band, The Fawns, at 9 p.m. at St. John's Episcopal Church.
Talk to us a little bit about the difference between writing stuff that you keep solo and the things that you bring into Gentle Hen, your band.
Or The Fawns.
Well, the Fawns is all Lisa's
Lisa.
songs.
Oh, okay,
That's-
right.
That's why I made distinctions.
Yeah. Yeah, usually when I'm like one verse into a song, I kind of have the idea that it's probably going to be whether it's a solo song or a Gentle Hand song. And I'm not actually definitely sure what the difference is. It might only be something that I just kind of feel, but it's usually a little bit more introspective and individual if it's one of my solo songs, and a little bit more universal if it's a band song. And then if it's upbeat, if it needs drums, basically, it's a band song.
That's an important distinction to make.
Henning, you've also been doing a really fun social media thing where you go for walks in Northampton and you take a little video and you give us a glimpse into what your walk is like every morning. And you have a huge amount of followers, especially on Twitter, which is what I will forever call it, no matter what.
Oh yeah. I try not to look at Twitter much anymore, though. It's hard though because that's where most of the people are that are following me. But yeah, I do the videos. First, I do them on TikTok, and then I save them, and then I post them on Instagram and Facebook.
Ah, and that's how I, as an old man, experience it.
Right. Yeah, it's fun. People seem to enjoy watching me walk around in the morning.
And you come across all these strange and interesting things. Yeah. What are some of the fun things that you have encountered in the time you've been doing this
series? Well, a couple
series?
days ago, I saw two bald eagles sitting over Paradise Pond. That was pretty cool.
Amazing.
Smith College, yeah. And that's like, at 6:45 in the morning or something before, maybe not that early, but it was light enough to see the eagles, but the sun wasn't up yet, So there aren't a lot of people around. That was cool. I saw some buildings being demolished a few months back, and I got to show that each day, the progression of the buildings being torn apart. That was cool.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to ask your opinion of Mary Brown's Dingle.
Yeah, I have not gone in there.
Oh, really?
What is Mary Brown's
I
Dingle
live right
besides
across from it.
another one of my new bands?
So, a dingle is a small, it's a super tiny park, and I think it has to have a culvert. Like you have to have like a dip.
I think so.
In order for it to properly be a dingle, but it's off of Crescent Street in Northampton, and it's just cute little enclave of like trees and a tiny path, and it's really idyllic. And for folks who know where it is, like it's often pretty secluded. Like it's a nice quiet walk. But like if you're taking walks every day and it's not far from where you're usually walking, I thought you might have
opinions. I
opinions.
can see it from my living room window.
Yes.
But I never figured out how to get in there. I always felt like I was going through someone's backyard or something. So.
Yeah, I think you may have to, but it's also okay because that's how you get there.
It's a dingle.
And it's on the map.
The dingle laws prevail over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Dingle bells. We
No,
should say dingle
no,
many times
no.
during the course of this show.
There's a dingle behind my house.
I know. We're speaking with Henning Ohlenbusch, who is playing First Night Northampton solo at 4. He's playing with the Fawns at 9, playing with the Fawns tonight at Progression Brewing in Northampton. You've been sort of a fixture of the local music scene and the First Night scene, Henning. What is it? Who are you excited to see at First Night if you have time? Between your shows?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's hard to have time because I have those 2 shows, one at 4 and one at 9. So I think I'm probably going to be seeing the people before and after each of those sets. Because the Fawns set is right between Spouse and the Mitchells,
right,
and Colony Hotel before that. So that's like a good, just stay there for me, you know.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Russell Brooks play, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially because he doesn't very much anymore. So when he makes it out, it's worth it.
Yeah, and Hannah Mohan, I'd like to see her.
Yes. But all guests from the show, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have every single band from the Valley on at some point or another.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, that would be really cool. But like new bands are forming all the time. This feels like a Sisyphusian act.
We can do it.
Oh.
Let's hear another one from Henning Ohlenbusch, who's playing First Night Northampton.
Okay, why don't I'm going to get a little, not all my songs are that introspective and slow and stuff, so this is a little bit more upbeat. This is about a big music fan, fictional one named Jenny. Always looking for a sign. She simply has to be the first in line. She's got it bad. Spends a morning listening to a voice, lines her glasses up and makes a choice. Yeah, she's got it bad. She's got it bad. Record store, flipping through the T's, making sure he sees that she's already got bandwagon-esque. Cranes her head, listening to the Pixies, cranes her neck, checking out the pics that he's already started to collect. Well, Jenny emulates a retro charm. She gently rests her hand next to his arm. She's got it bad. She's got it bad. What does she need another vinyl copy for? She puts the record back once he's left the store. Finds a spot just outside the venue. Here's the shot of a snare drum in an empty hall. It's the greatest sound that she knows. Claims her space, listening to the sound. Checks her face. Well, maybe he'll remember her. Standing in the front row. She's always looking for a sign. Snaps a photo of herself in the line. Yeah, she's got it. She's got it bad. She's got it. She's got it bad. She's got it. She's got it. Oh, she's got it. Yeah, she's got it. She's got it. She's got it bad.
Amazing. Henning Ohlenbusch, who's playing First Night Northampton, New Year's Eve, 4 o'clock at the APE Gallery on Main Street. Then with his band, The Fawns, at 9 o'clock at St. John's Episcopal Church. The Fawns tonight, Progression Brewing Company. Will you stick around in the studio, Henning? Because A, we might have time to coax another song out of you. But B, we're going to spitball the Deck the Halls with the fabulous 413 team and talk about the things that we do to celebrate the holidays personally. And we'd like you to participate in that, too, if you got some fun
I'd love
ideas.
to hang out.
Yeah.
All right.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
On the hill, just like it all.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by UMass Amherst School of Public Policy, offering graduate programs in public affairs, public policy and administration, data analytics, and computational social science. umass.edu/SPP.
It's the best Christmas song.
Welcome. Go ahead.
It is. It's the best Christmas song.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. We're going to talk about what the Fabulous 413 loves about the holidays and fun and interesting things we do to celebrate the holidays. And Khalees, that is, as you said, your favorite Christmas song.
It's the best Christmas song.
Yeah.
It is.
Donny Hathaway, This Christmas.
There's so many iterations of it. The best one is still the original, but there's very few bad versions of it out there. And every time it comes on, it just fills me with the actual joy that this season is supposed to instill.
Yeah, that horn line, too, is so catchy.
It's such a good horn line.
Whistling it all day today. What are some other fun things you do for the holidays, Khalees?
For the holidays, like, my partner and I have started this tradition of doing something really big for Christmas, like food-wise. Like, we could do a project. So, like, we did braciole one year. We did the short ribs from the bear one year.
Oh, nice.
Which was fantastic. If you ever find a recipe or develop your own, like I did, absolutely worth the week worth of prep that it takes to do it. And it does take a week, but super, super worth it. Last year we did a Wellington, and they did it mostly on their own, which was really nice. But like, that's the thing that we've done, and it's kind of in direct opposition to like what ended up being our Christmas tradition with like my siblings, where my dad decided he didn't want to cook anymore and would just order sandwich plates, and then we would play LAN parties for the rest of the day.
What's LAN parties?
It's when everybody is on a local network playing the same game on your computer, because we had enough computers in the house for all 7 of us. So yeah, we just get on and play Unreal Tournament.
Does it surprise you that the reason that Khalees was brought onto my show on the river was a segment called Nerd Watch?
The family that goes to conventions together stays together.
Our digital producer, Ayu Suryawan, you have a fun tradition that you would do on Christmas
It's so cool.
night. Yeah, tell us
I love
about
this.
it.
Yes, well, it's a tradition that I haven't been in touch with for a while since graduating high school, and then also the pandemic threw things off. But in high school, every Christmas night, so midnight technically on the 26th, I would go to the live production of Rocky Horror in the town over of my hometown. So no screen, a full live production, like a play. And yeah, every Christmas night I would go there. It's like the one positive thing that I gained from my loser ex-boyfriend in high school, because he's the one that took me for the first time. And yeah, but yeah, they aren't doing it this year. Otherwise, I would definitely be there.
It sounds really fun. A way to experience
Yes.
Rocky Horror, and on Boxing Midnight. Right?
Yes.
Boxing Day Midnight.
Boxing midnight.
Yeah.
Right.
Boxing morning.
Correct.
Boxing morning. Betsy Langto, our engineer, what are some of the fun things that you're doing for the holidays that you've done that you're looking forward to?
Here we go. Whoa. There we go. We don't really have Christmas traditions that we brought in from our families, but we had our daughter 2 years ago, and we consciously sat down and were like, what do we want to make Christmas traditions for our lovely daughter? And so Bill came up with cinnamon buns on Christmas morning because we just don't have them any other time of the year, so they're going to be a Christmas-only food.
Love it.
And this year is the first year Claire has made little ornament for our tree, and I put it up, and I'm so excited, and I took a bunch of photos, and I sent them to everyone I know.
We saw the picture.
You saw the
very cute candy cane ornament.
I can't wait to just get more ornaments every year and have them on our tree. That's my tradition.
My mom saved the ornament that I made in 1983 of a little seashell with glitter around the edge and a Smurf in the middle, and it's hanging on my tree right now. So you never know. 40 years from now, your daughter Claire may be hanging that on the tree.
My husband.
Which Smurf was it?
It was whatever the generic regular. I don't remember the names of the Smurf except for Smurfette, who's the only female Smurf, sadly.
There's
and
only
Papa
a handful that are like there's that one and Grumpy and like Smiley, and then
Are you
other
talking about the
girls.
Seven Dwarfs?
No, yeah.
Sleepy,
Jokey.
happy, grumpy,
Jokey
dopey,
Smurf.
sneezy, bashful dog. Sorry. Henning Ohlenbusch, what's some fun holiday traditions that you might have?
Growing up as the son of two immigrants, one from Germany and one from Denmark, Christmas for us was always on the 24th. So Christmas Eve was always my thing. So ever since I moved from the eastern Massachusetts out here to Northampton, every Christmas Eve I would drive out back to Andover from here, which is about 100 miles, 2-hour drive. And on the way home, I would start off there, and I would be driving home, and I would start off in the East Coast mess of so much traffic and so many people, and gradually as I get on Route 2, and then it's fewer cars, and then I get on 202, and there's no cars, and then I go through Amherst and Hadley, and it's completely silent because it's midnight on Christmas Eve. That's kind of become my little tradition.
I love that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Do you get to have the potatoes that are roasted in sugar?
No.
Did you know about any of the weird Eastern European monsters that we talked about with Jeff Belanger? Did those come into your tradition at all?
We didn't do those, unfortunately. No.
Well,
or maybe fortunately.
Not too late to incorporate them. No. My Christmas tradition has to do, not unlike the bear, which has popularized the 7 fishes, which is something, by the way, look it up, that nobody called it until very recently, but is a tradition because Christmas is a fast day. You're not supposed to eat meat, but you can eat fish. So Italians frequently had, don't fire it yet, wait till I say. It's not.
Live radio.
Yes,
folks.
we did always have a Christmas lobster sauce. So a red tomato-based sauce without the meatballs and sausages that I learned from my grandmother, my Nana. And
You had the hardest time getting your lobsters this year.
I had to go through Captain Jack's Roadside Shack in East Hampton, shameless plug, who helped me get them. And I traded 20 lobster bodies for a case of Miller High Life. It's going to be worth it. And this is a conversation that I had with my grandmother, who passed away about 15 years ago, about both my son Atticus, whose birthday is Christmas Eve, how his middle name is Natalucci, which means Christmas light, which was my grandmother's quote-unquote maiden name in Italy. But this is us talking about my son and the sauce.
Nana, I miss having Christmas Eve at your house in Boston. It doesn't feel like Christmas Eve as much.
I used to make the spaghetti with not the regular sauce.
With the lobster sauce.
See, you remember.
Yeah, now Uncle Greg makes it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But see, it's good, but it's not as good as yours.
I wouldn't say that.
I know it, Nana. There's got to be something. Maybe you're like a miracle worker.
Yeah.
You're like the Mother Teresa of cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Everything you touch turns to gold.
And everybody loves the sauce.
Remember how Atticus was born on Christmas Eve and I missed the sauce? That was the last year at the house. I was so disappointed, but, you know, I got a nice little baby out of it.
Oh, God bless him.
But I missed the sauce.
Don't ever compare him with anything else.
Not even the sauce?
No, don't compare it.
All right, I'll give it to you. I still like the sauce, though. It's good.
What's so beautiful is that? Huh?
He's definitely more beautiful than the sauce, but he doesn't taste as good.
You're full of baloney.
That's my dearly departed Italian Nana at the very loud Italian Christmas that you can imagine. And yes, it is my job to make the sauce now, and I'm going to bake stuff some lobster tails.
Your accent
as well.
gets so strong talking to her.
I code switch so that she can understand what I'm talking about. Or I used to. Oh, I love you, Nana. Oh, yes. Well, Thanks to all of you for listening to the Fabulous 413 this year. Thanks to all of our team for sharing their stories about their own holidays. Thanks to Tony Dunn in absentia, who's driving back to be with his child. A huge thanks to Spouse and Happy Valley Guitar Orchestra for providing our music all year long. And to our other engineers, Bart Rankin, who went way out of his way this week in particular to get all the First Night acts on there. To our mom, Kara Foster. To Chuck, Punk, Rude Boy, Sharp Cheddar Dubé. And to all of you for listening to the Fabulous 413. To Henning Ohlenbusch, who will be playing tonight with the Fawns at Progression Brewing and twice on New Year's Eve at First Night.
I feel like we should just have Henning play us out.
Yeah, let's have Henning play us out.
Yeah.
Would you mind, Henning?
Just a song?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a good end of the new year, end of the old year song. Become a better person by forgetting who you think you are. Embrace the change. What's normal used to seem real strange. Change your mind. Yeah, people do it all the time when they're honest. Learn something new, absorb it, 'cause nothing's a northern star. You become a better person by forgetting who you think you are. Come on, sit back. Not everything's an attack. New proof was found. So when you're gonna come around, don't say you're old. Wearing shorts when it's cold. Maybe just wait in the car. You become a better person by forgetting who you think you are. The horizon is brightening. You think it's frightening. It isn't lightning, it's just time. Don't go too fast. If you do, it might not last. A gradual slope surely is your best hope. The change will embrace you. I promise it won't erase you. It never has so far. You become a better person by forgetting who you think you are. You become a better person by forgetting who you think